Candela Sol Rodríguez Labrador was born on November 16, 1999, in Argentina. She was the second child of Alfredo Rodriguez and Candela Labrador. The family lived in a town called Villa Tesei, located in the province of Buenos Aires. Candela was well known to almost all the locals, and her close friends described her as a friendly and lively child who was easy to get along with. On August 22, 2011, she left home to meet her friends from the Girl Scout group and disappeared without a trace. At that time, her father Alfredo had already been in prison for over 14 months. He had been arrested for a major theft committed in the municipality of Moron. As a result, the girl's mother had to contact the police herself to report her daughter's disappearance. Afterward, Candela found the strength to publicly address her daughter's kidnappers and demanded her immediate release. On August 23 of the same year, extensive search operations for the minor began in several neighborhoods. Despite all efforts by law enforcement, no clues about her whereabouts were found. The next day, another search was conducted, covering a much larger area of the province of Buenos Aires. By that time, some people had already speculated that the child's abduction was related to a dispute with her father. However, the Provincial Ministry of Justice and Security quickly dismissed this theory, as law enforcement believed that Alfredo, Candela's father, had virtually no criminal connections despite his imprisonment. This judgment was somewhat premature. At that time, officials from the so-called provincial police, Minister of Justice and Security Ricardo Casal, Chief Commissioner Juan Carlos Pagui, and Prosecutor Marcelo Talavar were working on the case. Additionally, a group of psychologists was involved, primarily working with Candela's relatives. In the first days, Candela received several phone calls from a minor claiming that Candela had been kidnapped, held captive, and subjected to physical violence. Authorities were able to quickly trace the origin of the calls and discovered that the caller was a girl of the same age who had simply made a bet with her older brother. As a punishment, she had to perform some strange actions, such as making these calls. Under the circumstances, this was quite cruel and ill-considered. It should also be noted that Candela already owned a mobile phone at the time of her disappearance, but it had been deactivated due to non-payment. Nonetheless, authorities pressured the mobile provider to activate the SIM card in order to track the device's location. Ultimately, these measures yielded no results. On August 25, Candela organized a so-called march, in which she urged authorities to launch new searches for her daughter. She was apparently convinced that Candela or her abductors could see the action on television, which is why she addressed the alleged perpetrators again, stating that she knew what they looked like and that she would find her daughter at any cost. It seemed as if Candela actually knew the people behind the abduction. Minister Ricardo Casal did not comment on this and only stated that anyone providing information about the child's whereabouts would receive a reward of 100,000 pesos. On August 27, Candela insisted again on sending a direct message to the abductors through the media. She believed that the people holding her daughter understood that their time was running out. In her new message, she even called them boys, which could indicate that she knew them. The next day, she did indeed receive a call from the alleged kidnappers, who assured her that she would not see her daughter until she returned the money. She was also asked to question her husband about where he had hidden the money. It is unknown whether she was able to speak with her husband, who was still in prison. On August 29, Carola led another march and again spoke to the media. In her new message to Candela, she stated that she was very close to her daughter. On the morning of August 30th, several Argentine celebrities launched an initiative called 48 Hours for Candela, whose main goal was evidently to find the child. The next day, several police operations were conducted in the neighborhood where the girl lived with her mother, brother, and sister. Authorities discovered Candela's lifeless body in a small travel bag by the roadside of the West Highway, about 30 blocks from the house. That same evening, the car of a man named Juan Manuel Gordo Velasco, a neighbor of the Rodriguez family, was seized. He was suspected of being involved in the abduction and murder of the girl, and it was thought that evidence might be found in the car. On the morning of September 1, 2011, an autopsy was conducted. The results indicated that the girl had been killed either on August 29 or 30. The primary cause of death was mechanical asphyxiation. In addition, the forensic report revealed another horrifying circumstance. Just moments before her death, the girl had been forced into sexual activity. Candela's funeral took place later that same day. Nearly all family members and other concerned citizens attended to pay their respects. On September 2, law enforcement focused on the former partner of the deceased girl's aunt, known by the nickname Huevo Martín or Martin Egg. He had a long criminal record, including involvement in illegal drug trafficking. However, he was also not connected to the abduction. On September 5, the Attorney General of the Municipality of Moron, Neva, speculated that the perpetrators had carefully cleaned the girl's body before disposing of it. She also stated that neither she nor her colleagues had evidence that the main purpose of the abduction had been simple extortion. According to her, no signs of abuse were found on Candela's body. However, this statement contradicted the autopsy report almost entirely, and authorities provided no explanation. On September 6, the head of the Buenos Aires provincial administration accused the media of obstructing the investigation. That evening, authorities searched a house about 5 blocks from where the girl's body was found. They discovered DNA traces of Candela. The house belonged to a woman named Gladys Michael Cabrera. She, along with several of her acquaintances, Ramona, Nestor, Almer, Alfredo Monterosa, and his son Gustavo Damiano, were immediately arrested. The police conducted a thorough search of Gladys's house again, seizing nearly all dishes, which still had food residues. On the evening of September 7, 2011, the investigation results were released. Candela's DNA was found on one of the glasses. Gladys was charged with the child's abduction. The other detainees were charged with aiding and abetting and concealment. On September 8, Inspector Fabián Gabriel, who had not previously been mentioned in the case, was also pursued by authorities. According to law enforcement, he had used his position to engage in illegal activities while remaining above the law. He was charged with involvement in the abduction and murder of Fabián Gabriel. On September 9, after further interrogations, Ugo Bermudes, who lived near the abducted girl's house with his wife and 3 children, was identified as the main suspect. Based on witness statements, ropes, condoms, and a vacuum cleaner, which could have been used to destroy evidence, were seized from him. Bermudes was named the primary suspect, while other detainees were only charged with aiding and abetting. On September 12, 3 suspects, Gustavo Venezuela, Alfredo Monterosa, and his son, were released. The other alleged perpetrators remained in custody. On September 17, several local media outlets confirmed that Ugo Bermudes had contact with Candela's mother, Candela Labrador. On September 22, further suspects were sought, as previously indicated by Fabián. On September 25, 2011, prosecutor Marcelo Tavlaro stated that any of the previously arrested individuals could have been involved in Candela's death. Due to numerous errors during the investigation, however, all suspects had to be released to start the investigation anew. It was not until 2017 that the Criminal Court of the Municipality of Morón sentenced 63-year-old Ugo Bermudes and his 40-year-old accomplice Leonardo Daniel to life imprisonment for the illegal deprivation of a minor. The 49-year-old Fabián Gabriel was sentenced to 4 years in prison as an alleged accomplice. The court relied on DNA tests, phone intercepts, and witness statements linking all 3 defendants to Candela's abduction and murder. The court recognized that the main motive for the abduction was a dispute with her father, who apparently owed the perpetrators a large sum of money. At the end of June 2020, the Buenos Aires court confirmed the life sentences for Ugo and Leonardo, as well as the 4-year prison sentence for Fabián Gabriel Gómez.